first, 2 weeks I was there in the building, my ankles were cuffed, my hands were cuffed behind my back, and I had a chain around my neck.
What did Todd do while you were there?
He would get there between 1 and 3 o'clock every day, take me up to the main building, beat me, make me do whatever he wanted sexually, and then he'd put me back in the building. Most of the time, do whatever out of me he wanted sexually again. And I refused to do anything that he wanted. He liked to brag that he was a serial killer and a mass murderer. He said he was going to kill more people because he had dreams of his body count being 3 digits. He said right now it was still high 2 digits. He said if I was a good girl, he'd teach me how to kill and I'd never be his partner.
Todd Kohlhepp, an American sex offender, mass shooter, and serial killer, was convicted of murdering 7 individuals in South Carolina from 2003 to 2016. He also confessed to kidnapping at least 1 woman, committing rape, and claims to have killed many more. Welcome to How to Deal. Sub, like, and share please. It can be found below. Now let's begin. Todd Kohlhepp was born on March 7, 1971 in Florida and was raised in South Carolina and Georgia. After his parents' divorce, his mother remarried and he never got along with his stepfather. Todd was known as a problematic child. In nursery school, he would be aggressive towards other children, often destroying their property. By the age of 9, when he started undergoing counseling, Kohlhepp was described as being explosive. Additionally, he displayed cruelty to animals, shooting a dog with a BB gun, and killing his pet goldfish simply because he didn't want it no more. Due to his inability to socialize with other children, Todd was admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Georgia for 3.5 months. On November 25, 1986, a 15-year-old Todd Kohlhepp kidnapped a 14-year-old girl named Christy. He threatened her with a revolver and brought her back to his home. There, he tied her up, taped her mouth shut, and had his way with her. He walked her home afterwards and threatened to kill her whole family if she ratted him out. The following year, he was charged with sexual assault and committing a dangerous crime to a minor. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison and registered as a sex offender. Court records show that Todd was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. In August 2001, Todd Kohlhepp was released from prison after serving 14 years. He attended the University of South Carolina and graduated with a bachelor's degree. He was able to attain a real estate license in 2006 after lying about his felony charges on the application. He was able to build a respectable firm, having up to a dozen agents, and being recognized as a top-selling agent in the Carolina region. Todd Kohlhepp's first recorded murders, ones that he confessed to sometime after his arrest, took place on November 6, 2003. A customer found 4 people shot dead inside a Superbikes Motorsports. According to one of the victims' wives, Todd was a dissatisfied customer who has visited the shop often. As the story goes, Todd attempted to return a motorcycle he had purchased, but the employees just laughed at him, refused to refund him, and openly embarrassed him for not knowing how to ride a bike in the first place. Armed with a pistol, Todd came in through the back, shooting the mechanic from behind. Another employee was killed in the middle of the showroom, another one by the main doorway, and the 4th was shot dead in the parking lot. Up to this point, Todd Kohlhepp would have just been considered a mass shooter or a mass murderer. But his story doesn't end here. Over a decade later, on August 31st, 2016, Kayla Brown and her boyfriend Charles Carver went missing after they went to remove brush from one of Todd's properties. Friends and family members of Charles became suspicious after mysterious Facebook post was made from his account after his disappearance. Some friends would comment like, "Where the hell is Kayla?" and would believe that the account was hacked or that there was an imposter responding to them. On November 3rd, police found Kayla chained inside a metal storage container, tracked down after tracing the couple's last known cell phone signals. They heard banging coming from the container, which authorities had to open by sawing off the locks. Immediately, she began telling the police her name, her captor's name, and got into details of what happened.
Do you know where your buddy is?
Todd Kohlhepp shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest, wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in the bucket of the tractor, walked me down here, and I never seen him again. He says he's dead and buried. He says there's several bodies dead and buried out here, and he says that the dogs will be growing if they go looking because there's red pepper.
We're gonna step you up, sweetie.
She explained how he shot her boyfriend for having a really smart mouth and getting upset with him. She would have her ankles cuffed and shackled like a dog, with the chain wrapped around her neck. He would take her to the main house a couple of times a day to feed her and have his way with her sexually. He confessed to her how he had murdered a double-digit amount of victims and had dreams of reaching triple digits, even telling her if she was a good girl, he would teach her how to kill as well. Todd Kohlhepp was arrested shortly after her rescue. 2 more bodies were discovered buried under the property. They were later identified as husband and wife Johnny and Megan Coxey. Megan was a waitress at a Waffle House that Todd would frequent, and apparently disturbed her to the point where the chef had to come and take his order. They were reported missing a year prior. The husband died after gunshots to his torso, while Megan was shot in the head. He later confessed to the motorcycle shop shootings in exchange for allowing him to talk to his mother, send her a photo, and transfer money into a friend's child's college fund. After his arrest, authorities discovered a number of Amazon product reviews from his account, such as padlocks, shovels, tasers, and gun accessories. Seemingly joking at first, a look into his murders make them more horrifying. Like this review on a padlock stating, "It's a solid lock, have 5 of them on a shipping container." Or this review on a shovel stating, "Keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home." Todd claimed to his mother that there were many other victims besides the aforementioned ones. When asked how many, he responded, "You do not have enough fingers." He even wrote a letter to a local newspaper stating that he had more victims who had not been discovered. On May 26, 2017, Todd Kohlhepp pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of sexual assault. He was sentenced to 7 consecutive life terms and was spared the death penalty as part of his plea bargain.